Hey, house guests! Welcome to today's Big Brother 24 updates and spoilers. Happy Tuesday. Hope you're all having a great day so far. Thank you for being here. Our house guests of the day are Elizabeth FP and Carol Zamochin Miller. Thank you both so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate it so much. So thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. It's only $1 for a holla. Woo! And before we get started, I also want to thank yesterday's super chatters because that's another fantastic way to support our channel. So Jody Cortez, Sonia Lynn M, Janine Honberger, Deb Wicks, Ian Caballo, Dane Thomas, Callie, Sean, Shane Shaji, Vajrath, Angela H, Roel Afiram, and Migdalia G. Thank you all so much for your super chats yesterday. Yay! And I also want to thank our super chatters so far today. So much fun. Jody Cortez, thank you so much. Jody says Kyle gave himself to the dark side. Well, Kyle. We're going to talk about Kyle in a bit. Yes, he made out with Alyssa. They didn't go past that as far as I know, but there was some lip smack in there. So we'll talk about it. But thank you again to Jody, and thank you to Lisa Taylor so much. I love that sticker. It's a lot of fun. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's talk about what's been going on. When we left off yesterday, it was another wild day in the Big Brother house. If you liked Joseph's birthday, you'll love Michael's birthday. Seriously, it was another case of Big Brother birthday magic. There's just something about a birthday in the Big Brother house. So the house guests were getting ready for the power veto ceremony. Alyssa and Indy were up on the block, and just, to remind you of what was going on, Monty has been selling all week that he wants to backdoor Taylor. Taylor is his backdoor target, when in reality, it's Nicole. He wanted either Nicole or Alyssa to be leaving this week. So Nicole was like all aboard with this plan, because of course, if he was going to go for Taylor, he'd have to put Nicole up on the block next to her because they are festy besties. So Nicole's having some second thoughts here. She's getting some cold feet because she's afraid that people are going to vote her out and keep Taylor. Look what happened to Amira last week. Look what happened to Pooch the week before. So Daniel has also been putting the pieces together that there's a big alliance working together now. And he has almost figured out the leftovers. And I mean, the leftovers haven't been doing themselves any favors by all basically meeting up in the HOH room for hours late at night. I mean, it becomes pretty obvious after a while that you're working together. But Daniel is missing one big important piece of this puzzle. He is not seeing that Kyle is in the Leftovers Alliance. It is 7 people, not 6. So that's going to be very important. But the Leftovers had seemingly decided the night before the power veto ceremony that nominations should stay the same. They think that they should vote out Alyssa, and then ideally they would want Indy to be festy besties with Michael and Brittany. Now, I'm not sure that Indy would actually pick them, but if she did, everyone in the Leftovers would be insulated. That's what they keep calling it. And when they say insulated, they mean each member of the alliance would be festy besties with somebody outside of the alliance. So if they do go up on the block, they can vote out the person outside of the alliance. Okay, so in order to make this happen and to make Alyssa leave this week, they have to convince Daniel to leave the nominations the same. So to do that, Monty tried to share he shared some information with Nicole and Daniel, and he let them know that Indy, Alyssa, and Jasmine have been saying that they don't trust Nicole. And this information is true, by the way. So, excuse me, Monty is saying he doesn't feel comfortable putting Nicole up on the block this week because she might not have the votes to stay if Alyssa, Indy, and Jasmine are saying they don't trust her. She definitely doesn't have the votes to stay. So, again, that is true. But Daniel and Nicole are playing along during the conversation with Monty. But then after it's over, they're talking alone about how Monty is a terrible liar And they think that Monty just wants the nominations to stay the same because he's worried that Nicole actually would have the votes to stay and that Monty does not want Taylor to go. So Daniel decides he's going to stick it to the man, and he is going to use the power veto because he thinks that Taylor will go. He thinks the closest it would get to Nicole leaving would be 6-4 with Nicole staying. Because again, he thinks that there are 6 people in this big alliance. So if you take away Monty the HOH and Taylor the nominee, he thinks that there will only be 4 votes for Nicole to go. Now we know he's wrong. Oh my god. So yeah, they had the power veto ceremony. Daniel uses the POV on Alyssa and Indy. I'm not sure if Kyle used his too or what the deal is with that. I'm assuming he did. But anyway, Monty put up Nicole and Taylor in their place. So Daniel doesn't realize it yet, but he sealed his partner's fate. Thank you, Kaser. And Nicole will be leaving on Thursday, and Daniel played a big role in that, which is just wild. So after the ceremony, Nicole and Daniel are chatting in the Jetsons' bedroom, and Daniel is calling the other house guests a bunch of clowns. Nicole is calling them losers. The editors have so much material to work with this week. So Nicole says, I told the girls that I used to be a cop, and they were all like, oh my God, you're such a badass. And I was like, I know everyone who's lied to me in here. Do you though? You've missed quite a few. But anyway, Daniel's like, oh, you're so smart for telling the girls your secret before somebody else spills it to them, because now you can build trust with them. No one cares about your freaking cop secret. Who cares? Bleh. All right. But anyway, the feeds cut away from them for a few minutes because even production's like, who cares? But they come back to them, and Daniel and Nicole are really feeling themselves at this point. They are thinking they just made this big, iconic power move. But Daniel is saying, just to be safe, let's not get too comfortable. Too late. Nicole agrees, like anything can happen, but they are happy with how things have gone so far this week. Me too. I can't wait for Thursday. So Daniel says he's going to be doubling down with the girls this week to make sure that Nicole has their votes. And when these two say the girls, they're referring to Indy, Alyssa, and Jasmine. So he says he also needs to hang out with Kyle some more, make sure that Kyle is locked in. And Nicole's like, if they've played us, they played us pretty good. Yeah, they played you pretty darn good. But anyway, they're talking about how much the other side sucks at lying, specifically Monty and Brittany. Daniel's like, Brittany is not an actress. And Nicole's like, yeah, she is. I guess she's done some like student films and things like that. And Daniel clarifies, okay, fine. Brittany is a community theater actress. I'm Actors Equity, okay? You can't make this stuff up. Calm down, Elvis. All right, so then Nicole gets called into the diary room, and she's super excited to go. She's so excited to talk about everything that's been going on. I can't wait to see these DRs. Oh my God. Okay. Meanwhile, Brittany, Joseph, and Taylor are chatting in the storage room, and Taylor was not really expecting to go up on the block here because the leftovers had pretty much decided that they wanted to keep the nominations the same. They're going to try and convince Daniel to do that. And Daniel deciding to use the veto was like a last minute thing. So I don't know that Taylor even got confirmation that she would be going up ahead of time. But anyway, Joseph says Daniel played himself so hard. He says, I just talked to Daniel and he told me that Monty dropped a bunch of scary information on him, but he didn't leave enough time for Daniel to fact check before the power veto ceremony. So Daniel was telling me that he just went ahead and, moved forward with the original plan to take out the common enemy, meaning Taylor. And then Daniel and Nicole could fact check what Monty was saying later. It's gonna be too late later. Oh my god. So Brittany says, yeah, Daniel is gonna get played. And she is trying to come up with ways to make sure that she and Michael are not gonna be targets next week. Because remember, she was really banking on Indy joining her and Michael's Festy Besties group. But now that Taylor is going to be the survivor, Taylor is planning on joining Alyssa and Indy. So Michael and Brittany are still going to be exposed. So Brittany is trying to come up with new ways to protect herself and Michael. So she's like, we should try and pin the votes on the girls this week. Tell Daniel that we warned him about them. I just yawned because I saw the word yawn. So yeah, Joe says, this whole thing really took a turn that none of us expected. Because Monty shared that information that Jasmine, Indy, and Alyssa are all saying they don't trust Nicole, the girls are now scrambling because Nicole has brought that information back to them, has been asking them about it, and they're like all over the place now. So Brittany says, we just have to fuel the chaos. So if Daniel does win HOH next week, he will target Jasmine, Alyssa, and Indy instead of the leftovers. I think Daniel's still gonna go for the leftovers, but it's worth a try, right? So they're just shocked at this point that Daniel put his BFF Nicole at risk like that this week. So Joe says that's what happens when you get cocky, right? Daniel was saying that he knows for sure that Taylor is going to be leaving this time. Nope. So Brittany says, let the chaos ensue, let them implode. And then she says, Michael and I have to lay extremely low this week, right? Just kind of like fade into the background so that we're not a target next week. So then Taylor was very quiet during this conversation. You can tell she's like shook about being up on the block again. So Joe asked Taylor, how are you feeling? I know you weren't really expecting this today. And Taylor's like, yeah, I'm going through it right now. I did not think that I was going to be on the block. So Joe and Brittany promise she's not going anywhere. They say, we have you. We're here for you. And Taylor lets them know, like, I'm fully on board with the alliance. I don't want anyone to doubt me about that right now. It's just really hard being on the block again. She's going through it. So they're like, we get it. We understand. You're good. Don't worry. So a little later, Daniel and Nicole are chatting in the bathroom, and Nicole's like, I'm going to wait for Monty to talk to me. I'm not initiating any conversations with him. Daniel agrees. He's like, of course, you shouldn't have to do that. And he says Monty has no power left this week unless it's a split vote, right? Because there is the possibility that there could technically be a tie this week. The chances of it are pretty slim, but it is a possibility. So, yeah, Daniel says, we just have to make sure that you have at least 6 votes, so we wouldn't have to worry about a tie. So then Daniel counts off the votes that he thinks they have or could get for Nicole to stay. So he's like, all right, me, Alyssa, Indy, Kyle, Terrence, and Jasmine. So that would be 6. I mean, they're definitely not getting Kyle. And probably not Terrence, right? Well, it turns out Jasmine has also already been telling Monty she just wants to vote with the house this week. She doesn't want to be on the wrong side of the vote again. So there's a good chance that Jasmine would also flip. Nicole's running out of votes here, but she doesn't realize that. So Nicole then chats with Terrence in the Jetsons' bedroom, and Nicole is taking him through all the events of the morning. Monty was saying he wanted to talk to us before the ceremony, blah, blah, blah. She says all those people that were up late in the HOH room are working together. She lists off Michael, Brittany, Turner, Joseph, Monty, and Taylor. Again, she's missing Kyle, the oh so important number 7 in the Leftovers Alliance. So Nicole is sticking by her story. They realize that they don't have the votes to get me out this week. So that's why they wanted the nominations to stay the same. So Nicole says, Monty was telling me that Alyssa, Jasmine, and Indy are working against me and they want me out of here. So Nicole says, I know that's not true, and Daniel used the power of veto to call Monty on his BS. I can't. I can't. So yeah, Nicole says we really need to get Taylor out this week so that we will have the numbers moving forward. That's why Monty wanted the nominations to stay the same, because then he would be able to take out one of our numbers, Alyssa or Indy. So we need to make sure that we get the numbers this week. And Nicole says we have the votes to take out Taylor. So Terrence is playing along as he usually does. He's telling Nicole what she wants to hear. He's so good at that. All right. Meanwhile, Daniel's chatting outside with Indy, and he's telling Indy, be prepared to hear some bullshit, because Monty is trying to put a target on Nicole this week. He is saying that she's paranoid, but she's not paranoid. She's just playing the game. I mean, honestly, Nicole has a reason to be paranoid here, because she is Monty's true target, and the votes are there to take her out. But Daniel says Monty really effed up. He was saying that Jasmine is the root of all of this, and that you and Alyssa are just agreeing with her that you would not keep Nicole. So Daniel's telling Indy, listen, Nicole and I have your back. We love you. Obviously. I mean, I saved you with the veto this week. So Indy says, yeah, I will never vote Nicole out. That never crossed my mind. You took me off the block. I'm never going to go in the opposite direction of what you guys are doing. Even if I'm Nicole's only vote, I'm still going to vote for her to stay. So Daniel's like, yeah, I'm keeping Nicole no matter what, too. Okay. So after Daniel has a similar conversation with Jasmine and Alyssa, because we saw before, this is part of Daniel's plan. He wants to keep those three girls close. He wants to make sure those votes are locked in for Nicole to stay. So he's telling Alyssa and Jasmine, Nicole's the homie. She's not paranoid. We've got to keep her here. And he tells them, any BS that you hear, just let me know. We'll clear the air about it. And Alyssa says, yeah, I'm keeping Nicole and I'm not going to change my vote. We'll see. Okay. So then a little later, Jasmine and Terrence are chatting in the backyard, and Terrence says, I really want to make a smart decision this week. Okay. He says, I'm trying not to vote with my feelings, but he admits he feels away from last week, right? The way that things were handled. How Nicole and Daniel were ready to cut him loose, even though Daniel did throw him a sympathy vote. But a sympathy vote is not the same thing as an actual vote to keep somebody. So he's like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I don't feel great about how things went down last week. And he knows that Monty's made it very clear this week that Taylor is his target. But he says if Monty has a change of heart and he wants Nicole out this week instead, I'm fine with that. And Jasmine says, yeah, I am too. I just want to be on the right side of the vote this week. Okay. So Terrence says, I'm going to pull Monty aside and see what he wants for this week. So then Terrence and Monty do touch base a few minutes later. And Terrence is talking about how stupid it was for Daniel to use the power of veto if he's trying to protect Nicole. Like, why would you do that when you know that your number one ally will be going up as replacement nominee? It's just wild. So Monty brings up, you know what? This week is looking an awful lot like week 2 when Pooch pooched himself, right? Pooch volunteered to go up on the block, and then he was all over the place, and he got voted out. So Terrence agrees. He says, yeah, and I'm getting so tired of getting pulled into corners to chat by Nicole and Daniel. They are being extra. So Monty says, this vote is not up to me right now. It's up to you guys. It's out of my hands. So, of course, we know that Monty wants Taylor to stay. He wants Nicole to go. But he is trying not to spill too much too soon to Terrence, because he doesn't need this information getting out there just yet. So he's being kind of vague with Terrence. But Monty says if Nicole pooches herself, then she pooches herself, right? Then she's out of here. So, all right, later, Jasmine and Indy are chatting in the golf bedroom, and Indy's like, what do you think about everything? Jasmine says, I don't know who to trust. Indy is leaning towards trusting Daniel and Nicole and believing what they're saying, because she says Monty never came to talk to me before the power veto ceremony. So what's going on there? So Jasmine's like, I see what you're saying. And Nicole seems to think that she has the numbers to stay, but I don't think Terrence is going to vote to keep her. So that would mean that she doesn't have the votes. She would only have 5 votes, which would be a tie. And that's if we vote to keep her. It's more like 4 because she does not have Kyle. But Jasmine says if Taylor stays, we're going to know for sure that she's working with all those other people that were up in the HOH room. Duh. Anyway, eventually Alyssa joins them, and they all agree they would prefer to keep Nicole this week. They think that Nicole is better for their games. But Jasmine is not sure that they have the votes. She's like, we cannot be on the wrong side of the vote. We can't do that. So Alyssa's like, all right, I need to talk to Turner and Kyle and see what they're planning on doing. Okay. Meanwhile, Monty, Kyle, Michael, and Brittany are chatting in the HOH room. And Michael's asking, what's the plan this week? Like, obviously, we're voting Nicole out. But how are we doing this? Are we just going to lay all of our cards on the table with the vote and, like, expose that we're all working together? Or are we going to try and blame some of these votes on the girls, Indy, Alyssa, and Jasmine? Kyle's thinking the best option would be if it was a landslide for Nicole to go, right? That makes the target on all of them smaller because so many people were involved in this. Monty agrees. He's like, yeah, nobody wants to be blindsided. There's a good chance that if people catch wind that Nicole's going, people are going to jump on board with that vote. So, of course, Monty's been saying all week that Taylor is his backdoor target, but he's like, if I need to take the heat for saying that I actually want Nicole out, that's fine. I will do that. He feels okay doing that because his Festy Besties group has Terrence in it, and Terrence is outside of the alliance. So he feels comfortable potentially going up on the block as a result of this, because then they can just vote out Terrence. But yeah, they also talk about how Daniel doesn't really need to know until right before that this vote is flipping. And maybe it would be even better if he doesn't find out at all. Don't give him that chance to scramble. Maybe he'll be pissed at Alyssa, Indy, and Jasmine. Maybe he would go after them instead of the leftovers. And maybe he wouldn't. Okay, but anyway, just a quick look at the rest of last night. There were a lot of repetitive Nicole conversations. I don't know how many times we're going to have to listen to her say the same crap over and over again about how Indy, Alyssa, and Jasmine, Monty was saying they're against me, but they're not, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be a really long week. Nicole is convinced that people are not cleaning up the kitchen just to mess with her. And she's like, I'm not cooking anymore, blah, blah, blah. Okay. In other news, Alyssa and Kyle made out a little bit. Blech. Uh-oh. He gave in. That's it. He's done. That's it. I was really hoping that this time was going to be different and he was going to stay strong, but he broke the seal. And we also saw last night that Kyle and Turner made a final 2 deal. Is Alyssa going to be part of that too? I can't. But anyway, today, Kyle is like a completely different person, and not in a good way. I mean, he's so different now that it feels like this is a twin twist, and Kyle's twin has now come into the game. So he was talking to the cameras in the HOH room, and he's like, I came into this house thinking I wasn't going to do any showman stuff, but here we are. I really like her. So he's like, I don't know what to do because she's outside of the Leftovers Alliance. Boy. And he's like, I'm not sure what I would have done if the Alliance had told me not to use the veto this week. I had been promising Indy and Alyssa for 2 days that I was going to use the veto on them. So it would have been a real moral dilemma there. But he says, luckily, Daniel came to the rescue and it didn't matter what I decided, right? So Kyle was then talking about how he's playing dumb with Daniel. Okay, I'm with this. He says Daniel thinks I'm an idiot, but he trusts me for some reason. And it's funny because I'm the one who started the Leftovers Alliance. I don't know. I think there were a few people that were instrumental in bringing it together. I feel like Joe should get a good amount of credit there too, but okay. So Kyle says he feels really bad that now he's lying to Daniel's face, acting like there's any chance that Nicole's going to stay when he's definitely voting for Nicole to go. But Kyle is thinking it will end up being a landslide vote for Nicole to go because, again, nobody wants to be on the wrong side of this vote. So once people find out that Nicole is going, they will jump on board with it. So then Kyle starts talking about Alyssa. And Kyle says, I kissed Alyssa yesterday. What am I thinking, America? Is this the dumbest thing ever? Yes. I mean, maybe not ever. Maybe not as dumb as Daniel using the POV this week. But anyway, Kyle says it's day 28. He says he's so bored. He's so horny. And he says Alyssa is so hot. And he just never thought that he would get along with someone this well. So he says, I have to keep playing it up that to the Leftovers that Alyssa and I are not a showmance. I think they're going to figure it out. But he says he really likes her. And it's scary. And he says, I think about kissing her and I get all excited. And that's why I have to wear this hoodie everywhere so that it hangs down to my mid thighs. He says it's very obvious that I'm excitable. We don't want to hear about your boners, man. Oh my God. It's like listening to some freaking like middle schooler or something. So Kyle says he had a realization the other day. He says, we're only in this game for a certain amount of time, and this is supposed to be fun. So he's like, am I really going to regret spending these moments with someone I truly care about, whether it hurts my game or not? This is not the same person from a few days ago. This is not the same person. It's ridiculous. One mini makeout and he is like ready to throw in the towel here for Alyssa. Like, what? So he's talking about how much fun it was kissing her, and he says that's all he wants to do now. I'm just getting some major Tom Cruise couch jumping energy. It's a lot. Too much for me. So anyway, a little later, Kyle, Monty, and Joseph are chatting in the HOH room. And Kyle's like, I really hope the Leftovers don't see my relationship with Alyssa as a bad thing. Oh, God. Monty and Joseph are saying, no, it's not a big deal. Like, it's not. No, they don't know yet. They don't know that Kyle has now kissed Alyssa and everything has changed. So Joseph is like, no, like I have the same thing with Indy. It's not a big deal. It's not the same thing. But Kyle says he is with the Leftovers 1000%. So they talk about their upcoming targets. Obviously, Nicole is going this week. And then they're talking about getting rid of either Daniel or Alyssa next. So Joe is asking Kyle, do you know who Alyssa would put up if she won HOH? And Kyle's like, no, I don't know. Like, we don't talk about that stuff. And he's like, honestly, I don't even really want to talk game with her or like things like that because it could lead to conversations that I can't share. And he says the info that I get from her wouldn't be worth having to lie to her face. Stick a fork in him. He's done. This is not the same guy that took the information that he got from Alyssa and used that to bring the Leftovers together. Like, what? Not the same guy. Get him out of here. Throw him in the trash. Oh, God. Okay, so anyway, that's where we're at right now. We've got 2 days left until the eviction. Yeah, I'm sure Kyle's mom is freaking out right now because she's not for Alyssa on social media, it seems like. But yeah, we've got 2 days left until the eviction. Nicole is still going, and Nicole is still oblivious that she's going. Oh my goodness. Hello.
Oh, hello.
Oh, my baby.
Some would even say, oh.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I love you. Okay.
Poor Kyle. He's got the baby batter on the brain.
No. I'm wearing a shirt that doesn't work well with cleaning glasses. Would you mind?
Well, neither does mine, but
Oh.
whatever.
Thank you. Okay, so I want to thank our super chatters. Oops, because that's a fantastic way to support our channel. Just give me one sec. Oh, thank you. Okay, I want to thank our super chatters. Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can
Yeah.
you see?
Yes. Okay. So Jody Cortez, thank you so much. Lisa Taylor, thank you so much. Brooke McLaughlin, thank you so much. And Brooke says, favorite part of my day. Thank you. That's very, very sweet. Thank you for saying that. Traval K, thank you so much for the super chat. And she says, keep up the great work. I'm sure it's been a struggle with your move and all, so really appreciate you. It has been a struggle, but this place that we're in now is definitely way better than the first place we were in. I got to take a shower today with warm water, so that was awesome. We have internet there, so it is many, many, many miles above the first apartment. But yeah, it's
Girl,
been.
You couldn't get much higher.
I know. It's been exhausting. So thank you so much. I'm just glad that you guys are still enjoying all the spoilers and that we were able to make this happen still.
Was that? I wasn't expecting that.
Bowie. I guess he's getting rid of some tail fur that he doesn't need anymore.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Lynn Hurst, thank you so much for the super chat. And Lynn asks, can you see Joseph and Taylor at the end? I really am enjoying their friendship so far. I'm wondering, like, if there's the potential there for a showmance at some point. Now, that's a showmance I can get behind. I would like to see them. I think they have a lot of potential. But they also just have such a sweet friendship so far, and I really enjoy that. I could see them going deep into this game together. I don't know about Final 2, but I'd be for it. Why are you eating that, big boy? That's hair. Let me know what you guys think. Just Janie, thank you so much for the super chat. And Janie says, I made it. Woo! Love the new pad, by the way, and loving your spoilers and the recaps as usual. You're the best. Much love to you and your mom. Oh. You're the best. Thank you so much. Very, very sweet. Shane Wright, thank you so much for the super chat. And Shane says, Daniel getting rid of Nicole. We'd love to see it.
Yeah.
We really do, though. Thank you again. Wayne Sugihara, did I say that right?
Yes.
Thank you so much for your super chat. And Wayne says, thanks for being here for us. Yawn, JK, thanks. When I saw your message pop up the first time, I yawned. And now I'm fighting it off. Thank you. Anjali P, thank you so much for your super chat. And Anjali says, love your channel. Do you think Kyle will stay loyal to the leftovers?
No.
I really hope so, but I'm getting nervous. After this one make out, he's already like, oh, she's great. That's all I can think about. Dude, get it together. You're like 30 years old.
He just kissed a dum-dum named Melissa.
He's a dum-dum. All right, but anyway, I'm hoping he's not gonna turn on the leftovers because of this, but he's given the leftovers a reason to take him out first from this alliance, so I don't know. Camila Gamba, thank you so much for the super chat. And Camila says, hey, Maddie, hope you got into your apartment okay. Love to you from myself and my hubby, Billy. Oh, hey to Billy. What's up? Yes, the move is pretty much done, like getting everything over there. Yeah, I'm still going to have like a few things going over each day. Not a big deal. Now we just have to unpack everything. We've made some progress, but we still have a lot of things to put away.
Well, if anybody wants to put a visual to the thought of a new apartment, it's in the link is in the info box in yesterday's spoiler.
Yeah, if you haven't already seen it. Care Bear 22, thank you so much for the super chat. And Care Bear says, finally caught the live. Yay. Look forward to your updates daily. Congrats on the new apartment. It's so cute. Thanks. I love it. Kenny D, thank you so much for the super chat. Dasha Dawn, thank you so much for the super chat. And Dasha says, when will the leftovers expire? Lol. I know, right? Hopefully they put them in the fridge. I could definitely see them going after each other after they hit jury. I don't see them working together till the final 7. I think somebody is going to try and make a move before that. So I would say once they hit jury, who knows what's going to happen? Fair game.
I don't know. It might be next week
you think?
Kyle implodes.
We'll see.
He might take them all down with him.
I don't know. Alex Garza, thank you so much for the super chat. And Josh D, thank you so much for your super chat. And Josh says, I can't wait for the post interviews after Nicole's eviction and can't wait for her to get grilled on the major role she played in the Taylor bullying. I know, especially since I've seen her say on the feed, or heard her say on the feeds, like she enjoys when people get called out for their behavior.
Oh, really? But I think she's going to go the Paloma or the Palomar way.
Say that Taylor was bullying people?
Yes.
I can't believe that Paloma is claiming that. It's pretty ridiculous.
I could see her rewriting history in her own mind.
Absolutely. And say, like, you don't see everything that happens.
Yeah.
But
I got bad at it.
Yeah, okay. We saw it on the feeds. Anyway, so that's where we're at. So we'll be back tomorrow for more. Thank you all so much for being here. And I got to go call my grandma now. So I will see you all tomorrow. And until next time, much love. Bye, everybody. Oh, we're going to call Granny. Yes. Bye.